Good morning and welcome to my first walk of 2024. Thanks so much for joining me. Today I have come to the most famous stone circle, not just in the UK, but in the whole of the world. Yep, I'm at Stonehenge. So here we are at Woodhenge, which is where we're starting our walk today. So Woodhenge consists of 6 oval rings of post holes which are surrounded by a flat bottom ditch and an outer circle. The overall diameter of Woodhenge is 110 metres or 360 foot if you work in feet. Woodhenge is made up of 168 post holes which would have held wooden posts. But excavations in 2006 revealed there are at least 5 standing stones here too. So this info board here just gives you an idea of what it would have looked like. Clear off all this moisture. There we are. Loving the crow. And at the centre of Woodhenge is a burial, and this was of a crouched child that they found during excavations, and this child was believed to have been a sacrifice because their skull was split. A similar burial of a teenager was also discovered opposite the entrance, which is just where that gate is over there. So it's believed that Woodhenge was more of a gathering place than Stonehenge, and it's somewhere that they came to feast or to have rituals. They have, during excavations, found the remains and bones of slaughtered pigs, so it does look like they came here to feast as a community. So Woodhenge is free to visit, so you can come along, park up for free and come and visit for free with no queues and there's no facilities. It's literally just this wooden henge of what's left of it. So would you come and visit? What do you think? Yes, it's not as grand as Stonehenge, but it's equally important, and it makes up part of this bigger picture of the whole landscape of Stonehenge, which is more than just the stone circle that we all know and love. So I'm going to move away now from Woodhenge and make my way hopefully to the Cuckoo Stone. That's next. This beautiful winter sunshine, I love it. So energising. So here we are, the Cuckoo Stone field. Hidden beneath the surface of this field are the remains of almost 6,000 years of human activity. That's quite an interesting read. So there's a lot of timber use structures at this end of the Stonehenge landscape. It says these may have been timber platforms or buildings connected with the dead. Later, during the early Bronze Age, a round barrow cemetery was built on the spot where they had stood. Also in the Bronze Age, the cremated remains of 3 people were buried in pots near the Cuckoo Stone. The stone remained an important place of burial and ceremony into Roman times. Awesome. And then here's an aerial photo of the geophysical survey and archaeological excavations which have revealed that this was a place of ritual and ceremony for over 2,000 years. That's crazy, isn't it? And counting, because people still, or not this part, but people still come to Stonehenge to celebrate and see the solstices in. So there's Woodhenge, we've just been there. I am here, and this is where the timber structures and the round barrows were. Long barrow there, Cuckoo Stone there, which is just ahead of me up the path. And here's the Durrington Walls, which was a significant earthwork. It's massive. Awesome. I do love a bit of Neolithic history because there's so little we know about it. Obviously nothing's written down. It's purely just based on archaeological evidence. which blows my tiny mind. Here we are, the Cuckoo Stone. Once stood upright, and it's sarsen stone, just like the larger stones at Stonehenge. And again, because there were burials nearby, was it some kind of ritual stone? Or did they just put stones near burials back then? Kind of like a modern day gravestone. So I'm here, and I'm just about to walk along the surface half of it anyway, and then drop down to Stonehenge via the avenue. And there's our first glimpse. Right, let me try and zoom in. Weep. That's all I've got. Times two. But yeah, it's kind of here somewhere. Here, maybe? I can see it with the naked eye, but let's go and have a look. Isn't this beautiful? Look at this. You can see for miles, all open. And I did read that when Stonehenge was first built, the stones were really pale and white in colour. They've weathered over time to the grey that we now see. So if you were walking along these ancient plains across Salisbury Plain, then it would have been gleaming in the sunshine, bright white. That certainly would have made it look otherworldly. So paranormal lovers, of course, there's hauntings reported here at Stonehenge. I think there's some videos on YouTube of a child that's been seen moving in and out of the stones. And there's a reoccurring tale of a vengeful spirit who is upset with the fact that their sacred space, their religious space, has been turned into a tourist hotspot with lots of people trampling through it and excavations being carried out of their sacred barrows. So that's a reoccurring theme that comes up too. Sadly, you couldn't particularly do an investigation at Stonehenge because of its tight security, but you could on the surrounding landscape, so worth thinking about if you're into paranormal investigations. There's some wonderful folklore associated with how Stonehenge came to be. One theory is that Merlin himself cast a spell which brought the stones over from Ireland, and they were in a stone circle over there, and he brought them over with a bit of magic and landed them here on Wiltshire soil, whereupon they became Stonehenge. And we have stories of giants. The stones themselves were believed by some of our ancestors to be fossilised giants. I mean, that's an interesting one as well. There's also some theories which are also similar in the folklore of Avebury, which is a nearby stone circle. I have done a video on Avebury as well, which I'll link in the description. If you haven't watched that, I'd recommend having a look at that too. Avebury is also completely incredible. It's a fantastic place to visit. But yes, the folklore is that the devil himself put the stones here. And there's similar theories, as I mentioned, at Avebury, where the devil is big and strong enough to move these stones into this position, and therefore it's some kind of devil or satanic place of ritual. But of course, we know that that's all just hokum, and most likely it was a place for religious ceremonies and rituals. There's clearly lots of burials that have happened around this area, and this place is still so special and sacred to pagans and druids today, and people of other spiritualities as well, really. And they come here, people, by their thousands every year to mark the summer and winter solstice, because obviously Stonehenge sits on the solstice axis, where you can see the sunrise and the sunset perfectly through or over the hill stone and the altar stone respectively. So yeah, it's still just so special. It's just a bit of a shame, and I know there's a lot of controversy over the fact that those people of those kind of faiths can't get near it anymore without a ticket. They do some events where you can pay a little extra and go in out of hours and have a little mooch around the stones, but on the whole you have to get a ticket, and we'll see what that's like. I can see on the horizon there so many people walking up and down, but hopefully we can get a look along the permissible path which runs alongside the stones, where you can actually have a look for free, and it's completely legal. You can walk along that path, and then I'm going to head down to the visitor centre, where I will buy a ticket to get a closer look, and I'll probably have a cup of tea as well. Okay, so there's Stonehenge. There's the permissible path which runs alongside it here, and then on the other side of the fence is ticket holders. So I made my way down to the visitor centre, which is free to enter, and you can use the facilities for free. There's toilets and also refreshments in a cafe and a gift shop. There is also this museum that we're looking at now, but you do need a ticket to view the stones to go into this museum, unfortunately. But it was very interesting, definitely worth the look. Outside the museum, and again completely free to look around, are these reconstructed Neolithic huts. These huts are similar to the ones that would have sat on the wider landscape at locations such as Durrington Walls nearby. So everything that I've visited so far today has been free, but I have now paid for a ticket to go and see the stones as close as possible. The mysterious stone circle of Stonehenge has captured the imaginations of people all over the world, all of whom are asking the same question: why and how was it built? Archaeologists date the outer bank and ditch to 3000 BC, and the stone circle itself to 2500 BC. This was a time when there was no metal or iron and no infrastructure. The large stones, called sarsen stones, were sourced from Marlborough, some 18 miles away, but even more remarkable is the origin of the smaller blue stones in the inner circle, which have been identified as a type of stone found in South Wales. With the largest sarsen stone reaching dizzying heights of 7 metres and a further 2.5 metres underground, just how early man got them here is even more baffling. What archaeologists do know is that no one ever lived here, Rather, it was a sacred place or temple. 56 cremations have been discovered within the circle, pointing to the possibility of ancestral worship. Furthermore, the stones at Stonehenge were carefully placed to align with the movements of the sun, and during the solstice, the sun can be seen perfectly through the mighty trilithons. The mystery of Stonehenge and the surrounding landscape will likely always remain a mystery, and that is what makes it so special. Well, thank you so much for joining me today at Stonehenge. I've come to the end of my walk. I've just got to walk back now, so I won't bore you with that all over again. Thank you so much for watching. Please do consider subscribing if you haven't to my channel, and I look forward to seeing you all again on the next Weird Walk.